Hey there, this is Todd Gross.
Oh, come on. No, this is Todd Gross.
Stop. Wait a minute. Stop that. Hey, it is Todd Gross here. And how much commission do you think you could pull in if you promote a voice product like that actually features revolutionary, performative voices? Let me explain. We are teaming up with Oliver again to bring you this time a huge AI launch, one of the biggest of the year. Now imagine being able to not just clone, but to direct the sounds of your voice. Or like in the movies, direct the sounds of hundreds of different voices to make them sound any way you want them to with a single prompt just like this.
What if you could design your own custom voice?
Or clone any voice that you own the rights to. Change any voice to a professional, polished voice with a click. Even direct AI voices, like they were professional actors.
This is SoundSoReal, and it's about to change the game for creators and marketers everywhere. Your customers are going to be able to get their hands on what I believe is the biggest leap forward in AI voices that this market has ever seen. This is nothing like what we have seen in the past when it comes to audio. This is the world's first true voice designer. With SoundSoReal, your customers can clone their own voice for sure, but give AI acting instructions as well. So it doesn't just read text, it performs like a professional voice actor. And here's the kicker. They can design any voice imaginable just by describing it. Think deep, cinematic movie trailer voice.
In a world torn apart, one hero will rise. The battle for tomorrow starts now.
Or whispery, eerie horror narrator.
The night is quiet, too quiet. Shadows move where no one should be. Something is waiting.
Or even warm and friendly podcast host.
Parenting is wild. 1 minute you're teaching ABCs, the next you're answering questions about the universe.
Oh, yes. Like when my son asked me why the sky doesn't fall down. I had no idea, but I loved his curiosity.
That's the magic, right? Kids remind us to see the world with wonder. Their questions keep us learning too.
Absolutely. And it's not about having all the answers. It's about listening and growing together.
Parenting isn't a perfect journey. It's a shared adventure. The stumbles, the laughter, the late nights, they all become memories.
And those memories are the threads that weave a family story, stronger with every chapter.
Wow, only with SoundSoReal can you create voices like that. Anything that has come before this, nah. This is just the next new thing in AI voices. And it's going to be huge because it blows everything voice-related that's out there now out of the water. We're always first when it comes to this AI stuff, and here we are first again. It's fresh, it's exciting, and it's going to convert like crazy. You know that. The schedule will go as follows. A huge pre-launch webinar Thursday. Now we'll open the cart for your attendees. We'll have a more formal launch opening. That's going to be on Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, to open the cart for the launch period. Now for pre-launch, we will be recording your leads, of course, and retargeting them with your affiliate link attached throughout the launch period. We've got big money contests, and as always, our launches are proven sellers. You've seen the numbers. This one will be no different. Get on board early. That's key to maximizing your earnings, because SoundSoReal isn't just another tool. It's the missing link that makes every video, every course, every ad, and every piece of content truly come alive. Click the JV sign up below, and let's make this launch another huge win together. All right, so here we are on the inside of SoundSoReal, and it is so good. I don't even know where to start. Yours won't look exactly like mine because this is obviously my test account. However, the basic mechanics are the same. On the left-hand side, we have voices, which is where we're going to create voices from scratch. We're going to clone voices. It'll automatically take us into text-to-speech, is where you type, and of course, things are going to come out thereafter from what you type. Speak Like is where you could take an actual audio file and change the audio file to speak something different. And that's really fascinating. So you don't just change the text, you can actually change audio itself. Multi-person is like podcasts, and dubbing is where you go from one language to another, to another, to another, back and forth, any which way. All right, so let's start with voices. So in the voices, the thing I want you to focus on is on the upper right. And please take notes here, because this is going to help you on the inside when you're in. You create or design a voice, and then you have three choices. You could design a voice by typing, some script. You could actually clone a voice, that's on the bottom, by importing a audio file 10 seconds or longer, only 10 seconds. And then you could remix that. In other words, you can change those voices that you make. And that's an interesting thing. Like, for instance, you could make my voice if I took my voice and I cloned it and I made my voice sound much older, as an example. But let's concentrate on the voice design first. That's where you type a text like a male social influencer who is typically doing commercials for skincare products on TikTok and Instagram. Okay, so hopefully it will capture what I'm trying to get here. We'll generate a sample and see how it sounds. And we'll play the sample.
Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your boy, back with another skincare essential. You know I'm all about that glow, and this new serum, game changer. Seriously, my skin has never felt this hydrated. You guys gotta try it. Link in bio.
Okay, so they gave me a teenager, obviously, but you see exactly what it did. So now we can save that. A young male social influencer for commercials. And a male social influencer who is typical doing commercials for skin products on TikTok and Instagram. Right. Okay, so we're going to save that voice. And now what it's going to do is it's going to throw us right in, and it's going to allow us to create new copy in the text-to-speech area with that person. But I am not going to do that right now. To save time, I'm going to go to the next feature of voices first. The next feature is Instant Voice Clone. Instant Voice Clone is where you upload a piece of audio. And in this case, I'm going to upload a little clip from the movie Bruce Almighty from Morgan Freeman. So I think this is it right here. So I'm going to open that clip and we'll listen to it, make sure it's right.
Of the man upstairs, and yet your mind is already so prodigiously empty.
Yeah, so that's the actual clip from the movie. So we're going to write Morgan Freeman 4 from Bruce Almighty. It's in English. We're going to use version 2.5 synthesis. When in doubt, go with the highest version that you can, version 2.5, and then we'll agree to the terms, and then we'll create the voice. Now, I've already created the voice, so let's go in there and actually see how it sounds. I'm going to go back into my text-to-speech. I'm going to choose that voice. That's a 2.5 version voice. And I will find him by clicking on the upper left here. All right. And then from there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the voice, and I'll go to My Voices. And then I have Morgan Freeman right here. Morgan Freeman based on Bruce Almighty. So I'm going to use that. And then let me take this out right here. I'm going to show you this later. Edit, cut. Okay. And now I'm going to write something that Morgan Freeman may have said, like, Bruce, I may be an old man, but I am in charge, and you never stop complaining about me and the work that I have done on the planet Earth. Let's see if you can do it better. That's right from the movie. The theme is that he, is sick of Bruce complaining, and he gives Bruce all his godly powers. So then what we do is we generate the speech just by clicking Generate Speech, and then we'll listen to how it came out.
Bruce, I may be an old man, but I am in charge, and you never stop complaining about me and the work that I have done on the planet Earth. Let's see if you can do it better.
Is that perfect or what? I mean, we have a real Morgan Freeman here complaining about Bruce. So we're going to save that file in the lower right. And that's how that feature works. Let's go back to voices and take a look at that again, where it says create or design voice. So we've now done voice design. We had our social influencer young man, and now we've done an instant voice clone with Morgan Freeman. It could be your voice as well. Or now you could remix the voice. And what you would do there is you would just select one of your clone voices, like Morgan Freeman 3, which is what we worked on before. And then you can say something like, this man is old and tired and has trouble getting out of bed. And we could generate a sample of that, and then we could see how that sounds. So, in other words, you're kind of mixing things up a little bit. You're taking your cloned voice or the voice that you create with the designer. In other words, the one that, you just create from scratch from your head, like we created that young male influencer before. And now you're just going to describe a little change to how they're going to sound. And that's something else you can do with this whole section. So I wanted you to see that. Okay, so here we are. Let's play the example.
Another day, another creak in the old bones. Waking up just ain't what it used to be. Feels like I wrestled a bear in my sleep. Getting out of this bed? Well, that's a whole journey in itself. Just gotta take it slow.
It's amazing. That sounds even more like Morgan Freeman than Morgan Freeman sounds. That's just ridiculous. So now we're going to name that Morgan Freeman as an old man. And this man is old and tired and has trouble getting out of bed. We wrote that before. We're going to save that voice. And we're going to call it, Morgan Freeman is an old man too, because I tried it earlier in an experiment. This came out even better. I just am like so over the moon how good that came out. Okay, now that we're in text to speech, since it threw us back in there, let's talk about what you can do with version 3. So Synthesis 2.5 is what we've done the cloning in. But we're combining version 2, 2.5, and 3 because you may want to toy around with 2.5 and 2 to see what you like there. Version 3 is the one where we have the real ability to direct voices. So, like for instance, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take some script. You saw the script in there earlier, and I saved it in a text file. Let me grab it. I'm going to copy it in here, and I'm going to want you to look very closely at the script. Notice that we have things in brackets, so we're acting as a director. Like here I wrote anger simmering, voice rising. Look at me right now. And then disbelieving, accusing. You think I didn't know after all this time? You really thought I wouldn't find out? And then bitter and outraged. That's the most insulting part. So we're going to see if the actor that we choose can act as good as I did just now. All right? Probably it'll be better because you won't believe the results that we're getting with this. All right, so remember we're in Synthesis version 3. And our favorite thing, it's sort of a tip, write this down, is to go to the voice library and then on the right-hand side, narrow this down to the version 3 voices by clicking V3 right there. And what it does is it calls up 5 pages. Now, all of these work very well with the brackets, but we noticed that the last page right here, the very last page, has the best voices with the brackets. And I created some here where I did a favorite I did a heart or a like, a favorite. And Will is one of my favorites right here.
Technology is evolving at an incredible pace.
He's right. And we're going to use that voice, and then we're going to generate the speech based on that paragraph that we put in the text-to-speech. And this is where we're going to a whole new level of text-to-voice that we've never seen before, ever. And this is it right now. Watch as I generate the speech.
Look at me, right now. You think I didn't know? After all this time, you really thought I wouldn't find out? That's the most insulting part, the effort you put into the lie. The money? I don't care about the money. It was the trust, Liam. The foundation. You let me defend you. You let me stand by you in front of them all, and all the while you were selling us out. Why? Tell me why. Was it worth it? Was it worth watching everything we built crumble just for this? Get out. I can't even look at you anymore. Just go. You are dead to me.
You could see why the Actors Guild was on strike. They're really worried about AI taking their jobs, and this is what they meant. And this is also money for you if you get ahead of it, because you could do audiobooks with something like this, because this is better than most narrators of audiobooks, as an example. All right, so that's the next thing I wanted you to see is the text-to-speech and how it is best with Synthesis version 3. Now, if you have general acting instructions, you could post it on the lower right-hand side right here, okay? That's if you have general acting instructions. Now, before I get to speak like, and I want to jump over to multi-person because it's very similar to text-to-speech, except with multiple characters. All right, now let's go over to multi-person. Now, multi-person is where you actually can just type some general acting instructions on the right here. Let's say warm, friendly conversation between friends. And then you can do the same thing as before. You can actually, put things in brackets. Laughing. I can't believe what my cat did today when I came home from work. Okay, and then that's the female, and then our male here, we could choose them on the right-hand side, the actors. The male will say, stunned. What? It can't be worse than the mess my kids made. And then this could go on and on. You could just keep adding dialogue, and it could be long. And the things you put in brackets, of course, directs the conversation. Then you just click Generate Speech. And then you can play it to hear it, and then you can save it. You could switch up the actors as well. And of course, you could change the script at any time.
I can't believe what my cat did today when I came home from work.
What? It can't be worse than the mess my kids made.
See that? Simple. All right, the next thing I want to show you, obviously there's so much you could do with that, but I have to move on here. Next thing I want to show you is something we call Speak Like. Now, Speak Like is really crazy because you could upload an audio, even a really bad one. Like I have one here that I earlier did. Let's see if I could find it. Todd's voice. I have a nasal. Here it is. Nasal. Okay. So this is a nasal voice of mine that I was doing. I stripped it off of video, and I actually can put the voice back on the video once I improve it. So let's say I'm an influencer and I have a nasally voice like this, and I'm not really confident about the way I speak, but I want... So you could hear that I don't sound that great there. I was purposely not sounding good. I was trying to sound like someone who's new. So I could just scroll down here and pick something. So Commercial Man sticks out at me because commercials are done by pros. We want this voice to sound more pro. So then we just click Generate Speech. And now it's going to change the voice file, not the text. It's the voice file that's going to change, but it's going to keep the exact same cadence and inflection so that if you do take it off a video and put it back onto a video, it will lip sync exactly. So I mean, that's amazing. What? How does it do that, right? All right, so let's listen to this as soon as it generates.
So let's say I'm an influencer and I have a nasally voice like this, and I'm not really confident about the way I speak, but I want to, and I don't have a microphone, right? I have just the phone that I'm using, which usually the audio doesn't come out very good, not very bassy, not very clear.
You see how much I improved the voice there? That's the Speak Like feature. And finally, there's the dubbing feature on the bottom left. That's where you upload any audio at all. We could even do it to the audio we just uploaded. We could take that same one, Todd's nasal video, and we could change the language, and it will be the exact same voice. All right, let's change that and see if we get a nasally different language. All right, so we're going to take that same audio clip from before, and now what we're going to do is we're going to detect the language automatically. So it's going to detect English. And we're going to change the language. You could go any way you want, back and forth. English to Japanese, Japanese to Spanish, Spanish, anything. So we're going to go from English over to German. And it's going to give us the script first on the right-hand side, on the bottom right. We could either go with that script or we could change that script, either one. If we knew German, we would know how to edit that if we wanted to change what I was saying. But why don't we do this? Why don't we take away some of the things that I said later in the script, because we don't want it to be too long. All right, so let's do that. Let's actually edit that last half out. And now let's generate the speech in a new language with my very voice.
Nehmen wir an, ich bin ein Influencer und habe eine nasale Stimme wie diese und ich bin nicht wirklich selbstbewusst in Bezug auf die Art und Weise, wie ich spreche, aber ich möchte es und ich habe kein Mikrofon.
It's amazing hearing myself actually talk German like that right off the bat. So you could just translate anything, and you could go the other direction as well. You could take the German and then translate it over to English. This, my friends, is SoundSoReal.